Around $50 billion in taxes have gone missing. Let's unpack this. Well, to be specific, more than $50 billion of taxes have not been collected by the Australian Taxation Office, also known as the ATO. And why, might you ask? Well, a big chunk of it is because the ATO has been scammed. They've been scammed by individuals and on an industrial scale, with some swindling tens of millions of dollars. And why does it matter if the tax office, which collects hundreds of billions of dollars, loses out? Because it impacts all of us. The $50 billion currently missing is a huge amount of money. To put that into context, in July, the federal government introduced a bill to cut all student debt by 20%. It's costing them $16 billion. So how in the world does a government agency get scammed? There's actually more than one way. The first scam did the rounds on TikTok. It's a goods and services or GST scam and can be done in under 2 minutes. Some people receive thousands of dollars in their bank accounts in under a week. Here's Neil and Angus explaining just how it works.
It just takes 3 steps. You can do the whole process just on your phone. It'll take about 120 seconds.
2 minutes.
2 minutes and you're there.
You set up a fake business.
It could be a restaurant, it could be a hairdresser, it might be a dog grooming business.
You then register an ABN and then you claim a huge amount of fictitious costs for this business. And then within a couple of days, a couple of working days, the ATO gives you back a huge sum of money as a GST refund into your bank account, just like that. No verification needed, no documents at all.
If you wanted to design a system that was going to be open to fraud, this is the one that you would choose. It's big money, fast.
The people taking part in the scam didn't even have a pair of scissors, let alone a legitimate business like this one. The lack of verification required allowed 57,000 people to take part in this fraud. So far, 122 people have been convicted. That's less than 1%. One case involved a man just out of prison who managed to pocket over $800,000 in just a few weeks. Overall, about $2 billion was stolen from taxpayers, and so far only 8% has been recovered. Now, what Angus and Neil just explained was mostly done by individuals, but a similar scam can be done on a corporate level. Instead of punching in returns for a few $1,000s, people have been claiming millions of dollars for allegedly building projects completed by other developers or ones that simply didn't exist. A man named Nahi Ghazal, with the help of his associates, allegedly managed to squeeze $21 million out of the tax office in GST refunds. What Four Corners has discovered is while the ATO was chasing him for that money, he was doing it all over again. Hathaway, the liquidator, found Ghazal was connected to another 22 companies, which he says fraudulently claimed an additional $25 million in GST refunds.
It was not a building enterprise. Not one bag of nails was bought from Bunnings. There was no items ever spent on any building material.
Does anyone ask for land title documents, development applications?
When we're looking into the file and we find nothing. There's no local council applications.
It's unlikely that the ATO will get much of this money back, and there's nothing stopping it from happening again. In fact, the ATO says scams like this cost Australian taxpayers $1.4 billion every year. Now, you might be wondering why there's so little oversight. There's actually a bunch of different reasons. One big one is that the ATO has slashed its staff numbers.
I'm not sure that the ATO have ever recovered from that sort of drain of knowledge and drain of skill sets. The people are there, work really hard and diligently, but there just needs to be more of them.
The digital systems in place at the tax office also aren't very good at spotting fraud, but the ATO says they've improved their systems. So back to that missing $50 billion, that's partially due to these scams. Couldn't the ATO just go and collect that money? Well, based on the ATO's own data, once a debt is 12 months or older, there's only a 2% chance that the outstanding amount will ever be collected. So that's $50 billion that might never be recovered. To find out more, watch the Four Corners documentary here.